My name is Nicholas. I am 28 years old, and today we are talking money. Yeah! My favorite subject. We're talking about salary for a construction estimator like me. What do we get paid? What have I been paid? What can you make? These are all very interesting topics to me. And we are going to dive deep into these topics. You know what? I'm going to start by showing you something beautiful. You see them mountains over there? Man, oh man, how beautiful. We got mountains over here. We got mountains over there. We got mountains way over here, which is on a completely different side of the car. In front of us, on the side of us, it's pretty dope. All right, let's go. So, salary. Where did I start in my estimating career? I started at $42,500. And $42,500, of course, is pretty trash. It's right below $50,000, and I think $50,000 right now is pretty trash. But hey, a little bit of a start. I'd say I had just a slight boost from my time in the Air Force when I was making maybe, let's say, 50, 55 or something like that total. And really just because of the fact that I was married. It would have been lower if I wasn't married. And yeah. So $42,500. It was pretty gross, but it beat, not having any money or not really having anything that I knew to do much of. I mean, there were a few other career fields that I easily could have went into. Most of them hands-on, but I got advice to go towards this one, and I started it, and that's where I started. So after that company, I left and went to a company where I was making $52,500 per year, and that also very quickly made me realize that just because I was making slightly more doesn't mean that I was making good money. $52,500 by no stretch of the imagination is nowhere near enough for a guy, and especially a couple, or just a person and a couple. Obviously, maybe this sounds insane in some other country for if you convert, USD to whatever other currency that it is in your country. But yeah, here in the United States of America, nah. So I went up to from $52,500 up to $54,000 per year, and even there, I was like, nah, I'm good. So I went and got a job not too far from that place at $79,500, so right up under $80,000. And so whenever I first made that transition, I again thought that I was molding good. It's like, man, $80,000, that's twice what I used to make. I'm finna be ballin'. Yeah, like my name's Stuff. Yeah, but no curry, like it was no bueno at all. And I ended up going to $82,500 at the same company. Still wasn't enough. I ended up leaving there, and I got a position at $95,000. 35,000 was right around where I started to see like, okay, yeah, this is pretty decent. I'll go ahead and I can be cool with this. But you know how things are. Life creeps up on you. You think that you got money, so you start spending more of it. And then you realize you need more money. Ain't never enough more money. Take that and translate that, of course, into English or whatever the language of your origin is. But basically, you can always have more. And that was very obvious to me after not too long of an amount of time. So I was like, let's make $20,000 more. And I did. So I ended up getting a position, which is the one that I am at currently now, at $114,000. And we'll see. But like I just said, it ain't never enough. And that's real, especially when you have a kid. So there was that, and let's go into the future. What do I plan to make eventually? So at don't quote me on this. I've been looking at it more recently and throughout the week as to not only for salary levels for Arizona, but also for what level goes where. From my understanding, so I can go to a senior estimator or go up to a senior estimator from my level, and that would probably entail a salary of like 130 to 140. But past that, on up, you can go into a pre-construction manager role, which you'd probably be right at like 150 to 160, and then a chief estimating role to where you could go north of 200. But you'll definitely start scraping 200, as you start looking around for where to work. So that is my understanding of the salary route for my career path. Now, question is, do I recognize that my career path, which I thought topped out right around 120, but more recently after doing my studies and starting to get up there, I'm starting to realize that the ceiling is a little bit higher, but obviously not much. 200 isn't much. So do I cut it off on the halfway point? I see that I'm making 100. Let me go ahead and go in for myself and get up to $250,000 a year or $500,000 a year, or do I keep going knowing that I'm going to be topping out at 200? A question for your career as well. But most of the people who watch my channel are probably thinking about similar things, about their salary, about comparing themselves, about figuring things out, about financial freedom, and all of the things that entails. Maybe a lot about retirement or fire and retiring earlier. But hopefully the information in this video was helpful for whatever your purpose was for it, and goes a long way to help you understand the horizons. Because one of the things that I'm starting to understand is, more recently I've been starting to think about getting into the billions of dollars versus just the millions of dollars. And the larger your Overton window grows, so the larger that picture you can see of the world with the possibilities of the world, the more that you realize that you have more wiggle room. So you may not ask for, as high of a salary if you thought that the ceiling was 120, like I did more recently. Even though, I could see positions that were a little bit higher, so I didn't completely think that, but generally I was thinking that I would be topping out at 120 because that's as far as I was looking for a senior estimator, for instance. But if you can grow your Overton window, if you can realize that someone who is 28 years old, an African-American male, which let's just state the obvious, and growing up without, being that wealthy, not having absolutely everything, let's say that I wanted, you base things off your knowledge. And if your knowledge is the people around you and maybe not going online as much and looking these type of things up, you might, and even if you do go and look it up, you might assume that these are people that are completely different than you, and for some odd reason you can't be that. But if you see me sitting here talking about how I'm doing it now, and I'm thinking about even going much larger than where I am right now, there's no reason why that can't be you. Like, none. Let me know in the comments if there's some reason why you can't be what I am right now. I have an associate's C student in lower throughout high school. I did apply to colleges, but I went into the Air Force instead of actually going into college because I started looking at the debt component and how later on in life debt would highly affect a person because of the interest rates associated with it and everything else compounding on you. But I'm not anything special. Like, I'm like 6 foot tall, so I'm like higher than average in height. I don't really know if that has anything to do with anything. But other than that, there are less black people in America, so I guess that makes me somewhat more unique than other races or whatever. But I'm not unique. I'm just this dude. If you watch some of my other videos, I'm still going through a period of learning and understanding and kind of changing, making better my YouTube. I'm not perfect by any means. So this is for you. Again, whatever you wanted to take from the video, and this can be you if you just have not realized that yet. You can check the link in the description below for more from me, and that more from me is ebooks on my journey, my career through estimating and how I got into it, what I've done in it, a lot of the different things that I've learned about it, very specific. I also consult for the same thing. So if you would like to know more, if I've piqued your interest, I do offer consulting to where you can talk to me for 1 hour a week for 4 weeks. You can obviously, continue it going if you need more help, but yeah. And like, share, subscribe. Let's grow this community so that more people can know more about what's going on over here. maybe, you know, build more people who share your passion if you are looking at it because of the estimating side of things. But yeah, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.